Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to the recap and breakdown. Today we have UFC Fight Night Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov, which just wrapped up on Saturday, February the 1st, 2025. Absolutely depressing end to the card. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start with the prelims and with the main event. Just give you a little bit of recap on what happened inside the fights, but giving my opinions on what I thought and break down some bets that I had for it. All right, let's just start it off. First prelim opener of Hamdi Abdel-Wahab against Jamal Pogues, and we had a very clear win for Jamal Pogues. He won 29-28, I thought. Inside the first round, Hamdi Abdel-Wahab was able to get Jamal Pogues on the ground for a small portion of the round, able to land some decent strikes, and it seemed like Hamdi Abdel-Wahab completely gassed out. Coming to the second round, Jamal Pogues, very, very fast with the hands. It looks like a middleweight in the hands, to be completely honest. His boxing's absolutely crisp. Just taking pot shots at Hamdi Abdel-Wahab. Hamdi can't really do anything. He attempted. I thought he lost round 2. Gets into round 3. He just looks gassed, looks like shit. And Jamal Pogues, I thought, won pretty clear. Could have given him 30-27 even. It was a split decision, 30-27 Pogues, 29-28 Hamdi. And then Sal Diamoto thought he'd take a little bit of money from Saudi Arabia and gave 29-28 Hamdi Abdel-Wahab the hammer. He is a kind of a can, I'm not going to lie. If he's losing to Jamal Pogues, he's not going to beat many people at the UFC heavyweight. They're probably going to feed him to a couple cans, and then we can go from there. Jamal Pogues, I would take this as a win on his record. Looked pretty impressive, to be completely honest. Didn't look as bad as he has before. I just like to see a little bit more after the strikes. He's really confident throwing his jab. I think if he would have thrown a 1-2 a couple of times, Hamdi would have got downed at least once or twice. There wasn't enough volume, and I think Jamal Pogues would have really benefited from a little bit more volume, especially when Hamdi Abdel-Wahab doesn't really do anything. He's kind of just standing in front of you, waiting for the pace for you to push it. You might as well push it, especially when you have a guy who's he's just slower than you. You have the faster hands. You probably should push the pace. I had Hamdi Abdel-Wahab to win. I'll take the split decision. Next on the prelims, Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Now, Lucas Alexander looked crisp as fuck until he got knocked out. Literally. He looked really good. Bogdan Grad looked like he almost didn't make it out of that first round. Looked really wobbled. Was trying to use his high guard, get some takedowns going. It worked in his favor a little bit, gave him some time to rest. And then we get to the second round. Lucas clips him pretty good. And then Bogdan Grad gets him to the ground. Lucas tries to rotate position. Doesn't work. Ends up in mount. And Bogdan Grad just starts raining hell, basically, and gets a really high mount, gets his knees up, gets his hips back, and starts raining just blows on the back of, or on the side of Lucas Alexander's head. And Bogdan Grad ends up winning a fight which kind of looked like he was about to lose, to be completely honest. I had under 2.5 rounds in this fight. I think I said I originally picked Bogdan Grad to win, and I switched myself to Lucas Alexander. Bogdan Grad looked really impressive, to be completely honest, in the end. But like Lucas Alexander still looked a lot better, in my opinion, than him. Bogdan Grad was only able to turn the position afterwards, and it's a little bit chinny. Doesn't get out of the way very well. Kind of linear movement. Just keeps his hands up like this, which isn't really doing a whole lot when you have guys throwing uppercuts and fucking hooks over to the top, especially when you're fighting guys who are taller than you. It's not really working. You can see it's not working for him. He probably should have been doing a little bit better with the grappling approach. I think Lucas Alexander in the striking, you don't really want to stay around this guy too much. He's got wicked striking, very lanky, very long frame, and he's looking to just kind of wing those punches whenever you step in, especially with Bogdan Grad looking for takedowns. He was looking for the uppercuts, looking for the step-in elbows, looking for some nice stuff. Next on the prelims, we had Jasmine Jasudavicius, versus Mayra Bueno Silva. I had Jasmine, and she wins. She wins a very good decision. Shows that Mayra Bueno Silva's kind of washed, that she's not as high level as we thought she was. She definitely should not have been fighting for a fucking title at all. Jasmine looked really impressive, looked a lot better than she has previously. The ground game was phenomenal, keeping Silva on her ass for 2 of the rounds, and then inside the striking, Bueno Silva looking a lot better than her, landing really, really hard thudding shots, but Jasmine was just able to move out of the way and get her grappling approach working, and was able to win her the fight. The hands were, it was kind of tough to watch. Mayra Bueno Silva looked like an actual boxer in there, and Jasmine Jasudavicius looked like she was just winging random punches looking for takedowns. That's a little bit worrisome, especially when we're going to be fighting people like Macy Chiasson. You're going to be fighting guys like Natalia Silva. I'm not sure if Natalia is actually a 125, or let's just see real quick. Haha, she is. You're gonna be fighting girls like that. Like, you have problems when you can't take them down anymore, and they have expert level boxing. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything. You're kind of fucked. Jasmine's going to need to work on it. Maybe open up a little bit more opportunities inside the rest of her game, and allow herself to maybe be open to some openings to make those big adjustments inside the grappling and just go for a finish. I'd like to see her go for a finish. She was going for it on Silva. She couldn't get it, and it's just like, if you're not gonna be able to take these ladies down, you have to go for something. You have to go for something, and if it's not the grappling or not the punches, you have to look for a submission standing, a guillotine, heel choke, just rip a guillotine if they're hanging on you against the fence. You gotta get something in there, because I don't know how she's gonna beat guys or people like Natalia Silva. Next on the prelims, Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadzovic. Terrence McKinney just absolutely mopped the floor with Damir. There was nothing he could really do. I mean, this is indicative of the UFC searching through the entire roster, looking for one specific guy that Terrence McKinney can win to. They're just trying to give him a win. He's on a 2-loss streak, if I'm not mistaken. He lost to Imavov Ribovic, and oh no, that's in grappling. But he was able to beat Brendan Murat, Mike Breeden. Those are kind of shitty guys, though. But Terrence looked good here. He looked explosive. Looked like Damir cracked him once or twice, which is a little bit worrisome for Terrence. But, you know, he ate it on the chin and just completely blitzed the shit out of Damir. Damir's probably going to get kicked out of the UFC at this point for it. You know, I appreciate what he did. The round 1 KO was there. I took it. Terrence McKinney flattened him out on the back. Looked like he was going to go for a submission. Damir moved. If you want to move, feel free to move. Terrence just started fucking laying punches from the back mount. Laid him out flat. Ref said, you got to move. And 20 seconds later, we stopped the fight. So that took a little bit long. You know, very good for Terrence McKinney, though. I was happy for him, especially seeing as he's such a big favorite. You want to see him get that round 1 finish, especially since he's a round 1 guy. Get it done, get it over with, and get Damir Hadzovic on his way out of the UFC. Next on that program, Shamil Gazif against Thomas Peterson. A lot of people taking the side of Thomas Peterson. He definitely had a chance. Shamil Gazif kind of proved that he was a bit of a can against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He also said in his last fight against Dontel Mays, he broke his hand, so he wasn't able to throw strikes very well. He was looking for the knockout, but he couldn't get it. He said in the post-fight interview that he will always be looking for the first-round knockout from fear on Ford. He always has been looking for it. He was just hurt in his last fight. Fair enough. Thomas Peterson gets chubbed with a right hand, or a left hand, excuse me, I'm pretty sure. And, no, it is a right hook. I was right. I just looked at the top of the screen. It says right there, right hook. And out cold. Which, actually, not out cold. He gets chubbed. Ref stops the fight, and Thomas, like, lays on the ground for a second. He's like, I guess I lost. Rolls over and gets up on his knees. He's like, shit. Like, he literally is fine. Like, he has amazing recovery. It was kind of ridiculous to see. Very, very happy for him, though. And it's good to see that Shamil Gazif gets another win on that record, especially after you have a bad fucking, you know, you have a bad, what's it called? You have a bad loss to Jairzinho Rozenstruik where you kind of tap out in the middle of the fight saying you can't see, which kind of feel like he could see. He just didn't want to fight anymore. Fair game. Next on the program is Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Ofli. I was wrong. I had an honorable mention on the best bets segment. I had Khan Ofli easily. I thought Muhammad Naimov was overrated. I thought when it comes to the grappling approach, Khan Ofli would be there and he'd be able to create some nice scrambles. Boy, was I wrong. Khan Ofli was able to do nothing. He lost every round. He looked like shit. One judge gave him 29-28. Yeah, he looked terrible. He looked absolutely awful. I was completely wrong. Muhammad Naimov is still that guy. The Hillman is still an absolute decimating approach. He just has so much opportunities and so many variables that add to his game that just make it impossible to fucking figure him out. He can just, if you start brawling with him, he's just going to grip you against the cage. If you start working on the lock, he's going to start throwing uppercuts. You break the lock, he's going to look for a fucking another takedown or a leg kick or something. It's just like he's a problem. The pressure is a little bit bad, but that also comes with a deficit. In the third round, Naimov has a problem. Muhammad Naimov has a really bad problem. And if he fought a guy like Darren Elkins or something, you have a fucking problem, dude. Darren Elkins would mop you in that third round. He'd take all the damage and just come after you in that third round and choke you out. Muhammad Naimov needs to be very careful with his gas usage. You could see it in the Nathaniel Wood fight. You could see it in the Khan Ofli fight. He's starting to gas late. We're going to need to edit that out. Nice. That's good. Next, we have, what do we have here? We need to pull this back up. Sorry, guys. I had to edit that out because it shot my fucking shit on it. Where is it here? We have Faraz Zaim versus, oh, it was this headset that went out. There you go. Faraz Zaim versus Mike Davis. You had Mike Davis not looking anything like himself. Faraz Zaim just kickboxing the shit out of him. And then when it came down to the grappling early in the fight, Mike Davis, the first 5 seconds, pulls guard. Not sure why he does it. No idea. Doesn't look like the Mike Davis that we remember and that a lot of people love. It's kind of exactly what I thought was going to happen. Mike Davis, ring rust, kind of looks like shit, just having a little bit of UFC jitters. Took a lot of time off, took too much time off. And Faraz Zaim took advantage. The grappling approach was perfect for him. He was able to throw some nice ground and pound, getting out of every bad situation Mike Davis threw at him. Mike Davis had a really, really bad calf slicer at one point. It's just Faraz Zaim's too flexible. He couldn't get tapped in it. And he just stayed afloat, kind of just moving around in the grappling. I think it was in the second round, maybe at the end of the second round. And then Faraz Zaim just, again, in the third round, gets cut open himself, but looks like he wins the round and just kind of dominates over Mike Davis. Mike Davis kind of looked like shit. He had maybe 3 good punches that he hit, and they were all in combination together inside the second round, I believe. He landed a nice uppercut. And Faraz Zaim wins as an underdog, man. He's a little bit underrated. I don't know how he was an underdog in this fight. He opened as a minus 200, I think, or a minus 180. Goes down to an underdog, which is a little bit ridiculous, and people bet on Mike Davis still. Guys, I understand who you're watching fight, man. Faraz Zaim losing to Terrence McKinney is not that bad. He's a fucking explosive fighter who wins inside the first round. I don't take that away from Faraz Zaim. He's a very good fighter. Mike Davis just didn't have anything to... Jesus Christ. Mike Davis just didn't have anything for him tonight. There was nothing there. There was nothing he could do. He lost very clearly. We're going to move on. Next on start of the main card, Vinicius Oliveira versus Said Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov wins the first round, and Vinicius Oliveira's tactic works. He tries to make him tired. Said is completely gassed, looks for takedowns inside the second round, and Vinicius kind of lets him do it, makes him get gassed. Come to the third round, Vinicius Oliveira's just he's got much more in the tank than fucking Said. Said's got nothing. Said was completely drained. Absolutely drained. He had nothing left. There was nothing for him to do. He was just consistently going for takedowns. Guess what? Said Nurmagomedov, don't get fooled by the name. He's not really known for the takedowns. He's kind of known for just guillotines, wrapping them up, and the very nice taekwondo. Just didn't get it started inside the second and third round. There was no gas left. He kind of used it all inside that first round. You can kind of see it. Vinicius Oliveira loses the first round, but just comes out on top inside the second and third and just kind of dominates over Said, where Said, dude, he just couldn't... I don't know what it is. I think Oliveira is just so powerful, and he's just so strong that it just drains you holding him up. Because Vinicius kind of just laid on him for a little while inside that first round, let him take him down 2 times early with 30 seconds left inside that first round, forced him to get back up to win the round himself, and that gassed him a little bit. It is what it is. I mean, I had Nurmagomedov. I was going to originally pick Vinicius Oliveira by knockout. It didn't really matter. I would have probably bet knockout instead of the line at plus 130. But Vinicius Oliveira proves me wrong again when I switch. I bet Ricky Simon too. Like, I need to stop betting against Vinicius Oliveira. He's just better than I think he is. We're going to move on next on the main card. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rosenstrike. I don't know what happened. Sergey just took his time. And Jairzinho Rosenstrike didn't get started. He landed some nice leg kicks. Sergey blitzed about 4 or 5 times inside the fight. And in 2 or 3 of those blitzes gets takedowns. And he holds Rosenstrike to the ground for all the end of the rounds. Like, he's just laying on top of Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Never seen Sergey Pavlovich do that. Gets a nice decision win on his record against a formidable contender at least. But not the fight we wanted to see. A lot of boos around as soon as the fight ended. I wanted to see Sergey Pavlovich get a round 1 knockout like we always see. Go to the distance, I think it was plus 400. A little bit ridiculous. I didn't really see that going that far at all. Really, really good hands out of the way of Sergey Pavlovich. The kicks were really nice from Jairzinho, but I don't know what happened because he gave up on them. Inside the second and third round, he threw maybe only a couple, maybe a handful, and I'm not sure why. He had Sergey Pavlovich kind of moving his leg weird a little bit. You could have just kept chopping on that inside. You're a world-class kickboxer. You're like a fucking massive Muay Thai fighter. I don't understand why you're not throwing those leg kicks and just chopping at the calf of Pavlovich. You gotta throw away that movement. You can't let that guy blitz in on you when he has hands the size of fucking hammers that hit like bricks. You gotta get away from that guy. You gotta throw those kicks. I understand you're a heavyweight and you weigh 250, but shit, you gotta do something other than just get laid on top of and do nothing. It didn't really feel like there was nothing he could do. We're going to move on next to the co-main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I know I'm talking fast. It's just because I'm ADHD at the ass. It is what it is. I enjoy talking about this shit, and I got to get it done because I got to go and I got to run away. There's shit to do. It's Saturday. It's our early card. I got stuff to do. We have Michael Venom Page taking on Shara Bullet Magomedov. Now, Venom beat the shit out of Bullet. Number 1, Shara Bullet has one eye. Number 2, Shara Bullet has beaten nobodies. Who's his best win on his record? Show me. Show me his best win on his record. Name one. Name one. Who? Bruno Silva? Oh, Antonio Tricoli. Oh, Sergey Martinov. Oh, you want to tell me Armin Petrosian? Bro, who has Armin Petrosian beaten? Oh, Christian Leroy Duncan and AJ Dobson. Oh, and Gregory Rodriguez 2 years ago. Oh, so nobody? Okay, sounds good. Shara Bullet literally fought cans. He got exposed. MVP is one of the fastest fighters I've ever seen in my fucking life. He's fighting a dude with one eye who can only see one side. He's a karate fighter, dude. He blitzes in. He literally threw like lunging jabs and shit and was able to crack Shara. Shara didn't even see them coming. Michael Venom Page gets it done. Clean, Bobby. Clean. Absolutely clean. 6'3", 79 inches of reach. He's a fucking problem. Whether at welterweight, whether at middleweight, I don't care. Michael Venom Page is a problem. I understand he lost to Machado Gary. I understand he's had a couple can fights. I understand he lost to Logan Storley. I understand he got knocked out by Douglas Lima, which he did revenge, by the way, and win by decision, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he? Split, yeah. But when it comes to moving up in weight as well, people were complaining, saying Michael Venom Page moving up to 185, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Shara Bullet's bigger. Bro, guys move up when they're older. It's better for their chin. It clearly didn't affect his speed. It didn't mean anything. He was bouncing until like a minute left inside the third round where Shara cracked him. If it was a 5-round fight, we would have had a fucking problem probably. Michael looked a little bit gassed inside that third round. He knew it was over, so he kind of blew his load. It is what it is. I thought it was awesome. Fantastic fight for Michael Venom Page. Very happy for him. Hopefully, we see him again soon. We're going to move on to the main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't really want to talk about this because I just lost a huge parlay. I had an 8-pick parlay for $20 to win $1,500. We had Israel Adesanya to defeat Nasruddin Imavov. Now, we get to the second round after Izzy clearly wins the first. Imavov has a very nice moment where he lands a blitz. And I said to my chat, listen, this looked oddly similar to Volk. Izzy needs to be very careful with the blitzing because he's going to get hit with a fucking hook and he's going to go down and he's not going to be able to get back up because these guys are going to just try and blitz inside of him because they don't care about the patient approach anymore. And as you can see, Israel Adesanya gets defeated by Imavov via overhand right and ground punches. He chunks Izzy with the right hand, does the full like Volk stumble from the head kick against Islam, lays on his stomach and gets just backshotted. Just out. He was out. And then he looks at the ref, says, "What happened? I'm good." No, you were out. You were out cold. Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. I believe this is the end of Izzy's career. He had a very, very good stint inside of the UFC. He had a very, very good stint inside of MMA up until he had a loss against Jan Blachowicz. He was undefeated. He then lost to Alex Pereira via standing TKO inside the 5th round where he was winning the entire fight. And he has now lost 3 fights in a row where he's lost to the trifecta. He has lost to decision, Deshaun Strickland to lose his belt. He has lost to Dricus du Plessis by submission, or decision, for Sean. Submission for Dricus du Plessis in the 4th round to try and retain his belt, get his belt back, and he has now lost to Nasruddin Imavov by knockout inside the 2nd round. It is very unfortunate to see. It sucks for me because, I mean, the money was huge for me anyway. We did win some earlier bets, so it's not a big deal, but it does suck. It also is a problem for me because, again, this is one of my favorite fighters. This is now Volkanovski, Wonderboy, Robert Whittaker, Mateus Nicolau, Israel Adesanya. These are all guys that have lost now with 1 pick left on my parlay, and they're all my favorite fighters. And every single time I bet my favorite fighter, they lose, and I have just watched Israel Adesanya lose for the second time or third time in a row. I can't do it. It's just kind of crazy. It's really unfortunate for Izzy. I mean, again, really, really good attempt inside that first round. Looked really clean. Hit Imavov with some nice stuff. Imavov just looked like he was going to blitz at any point. He got it done. Izzy's kind of washed. It is what it is. It sucks, but, you know, hopefully we see him another time. I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever come back. I don't think he'll ever come back. I think that's it for his career. But all in all, it was a good fight night. I did enjoy it thoroughly. I did enjoy hanging out with you guys that were inside the chat. I really appreciate the views and stuff. The last 2 videos have been doing quite well. I mean, you might look at it and be like 100 views. It's kind of shit. Bro, go look at the other videos. They were 20 views at one point. They were 10 views at one point. We're moving up. We're at 100 and something views. We're getting close to 1,000 views a stream. We had a 3,000 view stream the other week. I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate the support. We're going to see you guys on Tuesday for the recap and breakdown, or for the predictions break, or Monday for predictions and breakdown. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I will see you guys all later. Peace.